Circuit.com and the director of the Texas Short Film Festival. We've got an event coming up in San Antonio on October the 22nd, Texas
Yes.
Short Film Festival Fall 2022. If you come to this event, you're going to see all kinds of film screening, everything from music videos to television pilots to horror films to drama to animation to comedy to dark comedy. We do it all. It's a variety. It's a great time. All the content is 30 minutes or less. And we are joined by director Philip Lewis. Hey, Philip, how are you?
Great, Michael. Great to be here.
I want to say congrats for being nominated. Your film is being nominated for the Best Relationship Drama Film. And Jeff Comes Home is a powerful piece, very high quality production value. The judges have a lot of respect for it. Good job on this film.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're glad to be in the festival.
Thank you. And, I don't want to give it away. I'm going to let you give me the synopsis. So please tell us in your own words, when people walk into the theater on the 22nd, what are they going to see?
Well, let's begin with this. This is actually a second part of a film. We wrote a feature film. I'm a professor at Georgia State University, and this is a student film produced in 3 weeks during a short little semester that we put together. And it was written. Okay, so there's this feature film called Petra that we wrote and shot with students in Budapest, Hungary, about 4 years ago. And it was a feature film, and it had this character named Jeff. So my wife and I were sitting on the couch, and the story of Petra is that Jeff is a National Geographic photographer, shows up in Budapest to shoot refugees and kind of falls in love, but at the same time has to be rescued by this woman named Petra. So it's a super strong female character who is basically always rescuing this guy who he's sort of a bumbling idiot. Okay. So anyway, the idea here of Jeff Comes Home is that what happens when Jeff comes back to southern Georgia and tells his family that he's going to move to Budapest to be with this woman named Petra, who's Hungarian. And so that's the synopsis of the story. Jeff walking through the door and all the things that would occur when you have this strong family culture and an underachieving brother and a little sister, that all of these things have to be considered when you are going to move 5,000 miles away and to be with this person who's nobody's ever met. And there's a lot going on in the story, tragically.
Multiple layers here. Creatively, just what was the motivation for making this? Like why did you want to spend this time, effort, and energy on this particular story creatively?
Well, first of all, I've never written a tragedy. I like to put in pieces of comedy. I did a lot of documentaries about women in sub-Saharan Africa, Venezuelan prisons, stuff like that. But I've never really had this. I had this desire to write a tragedy. What would happen if Jeff came home and everything just went to hell in a handbasket? And that's literally the motivation. From that point on, all the writing and then the shooting with the students, we just had to make sure that story got told, that Jeff's problems are real problems in everyone's society when they have to try to make decisions about what they desire, what might be in complete contrast from what their culture requires of them. And that could be a family culture, or in this case, Southern Georgia culture. And that's the motivation behind making Jeff Comes Home.
Oh, wow. And production-wise, what did you learn during this production?
It's hard to shoot. It's hard to shoot a short film in a class that only meets for 3 weeks, and trying to get it done. And it was very difficult. We had to cast everybody in the 3 weeks. Inside the 3 weeks, we had to cast everybody, find a location, get skill up on some camera movement and lighting stuff, and then also audio from all these students who were relatively new to the production workflow. So we had to do all that and then shoot the film, and all
Mm.
in 21 days. So it was a challenge, but again, the reason why I even put it out there into the film festival circuit is because it really is pretty well done. The drama is apparent.
Well, before I ask you about the future, let's back it up for a little bit. And how did
Sure.
we arrive at this place where this is a student film? Obviously, you're a professor, and you're using this as some kind of a teaching tool. Talk to me about your background a little bit and how we arrived at
Yeah,
you
sure.
creating this film.
I started in television at NBC, KYW TV in Philadelphia, but that was in 1982. And ever since then, I've been where I worked for CBS in Portland and in Eugene and in Roseburg, Oregon, three different places there.
Oh wow.
Um, I started a film company and made a couple of documentaries. And at the Portland Mount Hood Jazz Festival, made documentary there. Made documentaries for PBS and along the way. And just as a single guy, it was very easy to just go everywhere. I went to a
Mhm.
Venezuelan prison and for 30 days and shot a film called Prison Paradise there. I went to sub-Saharan Africa about 5 years ago to shoot a story about women's education and sort of like the state of Africa in women's education. So
Mhm.
we shot that, and that's been in festivals and on PBS and stuff. But about 20 years ago, I fell in love, and not ironically, I fell in love with a Hungarian woman. So
Mhm.
that's the reason why I have this sudden Hungarian roots. And we had a child, and that sort of like tapped the brakes on all of this production stuff that I've been doing. Um, and so we decided that it would be best if I became a professor and taught young people how to do stuff. And so, as the story goes, as the joke goes, is like, try to teach people how to make movies and short films and TV programs so we don't get a whole lot of star wipes.
Mm.
That was the joke at the time. So anyway, so I've been doing this for 22 years in different places in New Mexico. Here I'm at Georgia State University, the largest film school in the Southeast, and in arguably the mecca of media in downtown Atlanta. So all the Marvel films are shot here. HBO is housed here. TNT, Turner Broadcasting, CNN are all housed here. So we got a lot of opportunities for our students to go out there and get work and internships and works that our alumni are well educated and employed in downtown Atlanta. So it's been fun. So that's been my journey, and I love being a professor, but at the same time I continue to write and direct and grab a student or five whenever it's possible to actually shoot something
Mm.
that has meaning for them and then also for me as well.
You know, I'm always surprised when I was in production and I had a career on location for a long time as an audio engineer. In production, I was sometimes surprised at some of the kids that would come out from film school that didn't know the basics. They didn't know how to
I
set up a
know.
light, didn't know how to hold a boom pole, didn't know how to do
Yeah.
some super basic things. And so,
Yeah.
um, you know, theory is one thing, and I know that there's a lot of film and communications programs that they just kind of get in a room and debate about the social impact of Citizen Kane for 2 months. But
2 months,
yeah,
3 years, you mean?
I
Okay, and then
know it's
finally in their senior year, they get a camcorder and they think they're a filmmaker, you know?
exactly, and it's like maybe there's like film theory degrees, and there's like actual like let's make a freaking movie.
Yeah,
You know,
it's amazing.
I had an experience once where I worked as an audio guy, and it was just a two-person crew, and I had one contact person coming in from the BBC to do a story, to fly into Houston, Texas, and do a story on some people in 2 days, upload it. It's on TV while she was on the plane back to the UK,
Wow.
right? And you're like, well, this is a tight schedule, by American standards. This lady shows up. She runs camera. She didn't have the audio kit. She had a makeup kit. She had a lighting, rented a lighting kit. I saw her set up this interview, do all the lighting, powder this lady up, take out the airbrush kit, touch her up, coach her on all these questions, set up the camera, set up the shot, insert some props, shoot the entire interview, shoot B-roll for, 8 hours, cut it all together, upload it, and the thing's on TV. And that person I'm talking about was 21 years old.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
So people come from,
Yeah.
they come, with a whole different, way of prep and functionality. And, she was obviously an exceptional producer, but it's a different story. There's a lot of things you got to learn. I went to school for music production and ended up in film just because it paid more money
Yeah.
than
It was
recording,
almost a job in sound too.
yeah, than recording bands all day. It definitely paid more money for me at the time. And it's one of those things where practical application, I think, is important. And I'll have people, and they'll ask me, well, what's the best film school I should go to? I get
Mhm.
that question. Should I
Yeah,
go
I
to
do, weekly. Yeah.
should I go to NYU or should I go to USC? And my response sometimes is, those aren't actually the top two schools producing films that get into our festivals.
Mhm.
We get a lot from other places.
Yeah.
Everything from Full Sail to Florida State to Chapman, and we get all these schools, these communications programs, and now I'm glad we're getting some Georgia State stuff. But a lot of times it does depend on the individual and how prepared they are to turn in complete product. To say, we're going to write a script, we're going to plan it out, we're going to budget our time, we're going to book locations, we're
Yep.
going to cast, we're going to do all the pre-pro, we're going to do all the production, and we're not going to get on set and say, so let's just hang a boom here and we'll figure it out later. And I like the fact that your production value on this film. I hope people get a chance to come down and see it, because it's very well done. It doesn't look like a student film. It didn't occur to me that this was a student film. It's very tight from front to back, and acting and the way people are coached. And there's definitely a pattern to the writing. It's a very good sequence. It's very, very well done. And I feel like every film is a little bit of film school. I'm going to go off on a tangent, but every film is a little bit of film school. And this one, it really looks good. I'm sure whoever worked with you on this got a lot out of that process. So appreciate you being a mentor to others and ushering them through the process. It's really, really important.
Yeah, I think the film school question that I get all the time is that, should I spend the money and go into film school? I go, well, you get a lot of experience if you go to the right film school.
Hmm.
You, we put professional cameras in our freshmen, in the hands of our freshmen after they take just one class. Well, actually, in that one first production class, they're working with $10,000 camera and we shoot
Hmm.
4K. We only use professional equipment here at Georgia State. There are no camcorders. Our advanced classes, we use Reds. We have the Komodos that people use, um, and sound equipment, et cetera, et cetera. And I just think that that's more important for them to get the 4 years of getting their hands on and just having that physical memory about how this should work, and
Mm.
then to be able to say I troubleshot this before in class
Yeah.
my junior year. So now when I get on a set, I know what's going on, and
Yep.
I think it's very important, both above the line and below the line stuff. So writing and directing, and then also set, hair, Avid editing, Premiere editing. We do a little bit of 16 millimeter as well, so,
Oh,
which is
cool.
very rare. And the only reason why we can do that is because we're in Atlanta, and Kodak still has offices here, which
Well,
is
I think it shows people, it gives them an appreciation for the gear. When I'm old enough to say that when I came into the business and we were shooting, anything serious, that was a film or a music video was shot on 35,
yeah,
and
yep, absolutely,
it was a different, rehearsal had a different meaning The pressure on actors to get it right had a different meaning. But by the time I was getting out of the business, at 2015 off of production, people were just shooting 70 to 1, spraying everything down and just saying, we'll figure it out in post. And which was kind of sad to see, because then actors, weren't as focused, and people were doing take after take. And of course, reality TV hit, which was just,
Yeah,
um,
we're still feeling the effects of that,
yeah, for sure. And people just think like this is just roll, keep rolling. Like some poor sap is going to sit in editing and just edit this. Whereas with film, it was very tight, marking each reel, and having us, it was just a very different process. Anyway, I'm just sounding like an old geezer here. Um,
It's okay, yeah. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with, using new equipment, but I think that you still have to put that the effort of, thinking through what your shots might be, what the major impact are, because, even though it's just a little bit of theory and a lot of practice, but you can make a better film. You can make a better film if you have an understanding of dramatic poise inside a script, at the same time be able to understand how, the lens and the camera are actually going to portray those emotions, and then also be a good director, because I
mhm,
think a lot of people get stuck behind the camera, if you know what I mean. They get stuck behind
yeah,
the camera, and they don't. I mean, you could tell with Jeff Comes Home, kind of bringing it back to the film we're talking about. You can tell that, my relationship as a director with the actors, that we are trying to get the most emotion out of the short period that we have, and this is
sure.
a relatively short film, and the actors are Jeff's in every shot, so he
Mhm.
has to go through a story arc that is very apparent, and, you can't just do that willy-nilly. You can't just say, "Yeah, get Jeff, just go ahead," or Adam. All of our actors were named Adam for some reason. In this, Adam Leventhal, played, the brother, and Adam Johnson played, Jeff, and they knew each other, and that really helped, because they could really actually, when you get into the fight scene between the brothers, it's it's emotional.
Sure.
It brings it home. It brings it home.
Well,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for your time. Good job on this. I hope I didn't cut off something you were about to say there.
No, no,
But
it's great. It's just really great to chat with you, and, I don't know that I'll be able to make it down to the festival in San Antonio, just because we're in the middle of a school year, but I just wanna say good luck to you. Thanks a lot for the festival. Thanks for, enjoying Jeff, and, I hope that anybody who goes and sees it, feel free to contact me if you wanna get in touch with anybody or just have a conversation about it. Michael, good luck to you on your festival, and, we'll see you soon, okay?
thanks so much. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one. Take care.